What's up, guys? It's your boy, GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning. How is everyone doing today? Let's check the comments for a second so I can stay afloat. I'm going to try to actually be a show host today rather than just like a little addicted little study worm. Terrafin up in here early. Clubcats, NFT.com. Interesting that you bring that up. A topic of the conversation today. And not a direct topic, but we're going to be talking about Web3 and real deal. Let's talk about NFTs from a smart person perspective. Wow. Hold on a second. Incredible. You can actually do those things at the same time, believe it or not. Bullish. Producer Bullish. He's in the background making it all happen. Hexican Papa. What's going on? Hex Boy. GRC Sam Orca. Yeah, pretty much. Paul Sachs. What's good, peeps? Good to see you. How's everybody doing? I checked out Sam's solar stuff today. Very interesting stuff. I agree on that. I have not looked all the way into that, but I need to look into that. It is the morning, and I like crypto. I cannot agree more. I love the morning, and I love crypto, and that's what inspired me to do this show. I'm a morning guy. Hey, Sam. If I have it on stream from my garage, gym, in my office, does YouTube stats only see it as one IP household? If they're not, are you talking about separate computers or the same computer? Terrafin, David. Sam might know that answer. David Terrafin, good to see you again. Monica MoFit Meals, you're the best. Seek 5555, Ross Hex, Human Hex Trafficker, RH Max. Guys, smash the like button. Let's go. Super Hex Win. When is he going to come on the show? He's like a little mysterious. He's a mysterious one. But I want you on the show. And I'll switch the time of the show for you. And I just said that in front of everyone. So that's pressure. That's called pressure. That's where I'm from. That's called muscling up. All right? I'm just kidding. You're the man. I like all your videos. They're pretty cool. They're really cool. And you have cool stuff. Motley Investor. Good morning, Motley. You are God's gift to this earth, truthfully. I think Motley Investor is God's gift to this earth. I do believe so. People that hate on this dude, I usually don't like them right away because it's a good sign. It's a good sign. And I'm not talking about his business shit. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm just talking about as a guy, as a human. Chad Donner Schwann's great to see you guys. Biceps all over the chat. Soul Fashion Coder. Your show with your dad yesterday was pretty cool. Your dad's a smart ass guy. That's crazy. I was watching that. Crypto Prophetic. Okay, guys, I'm going to run the intro song, guys. Today, I had to apologize to a few people this morning. And you guys probably aren't surprised about the apology part. Like, I had to apologize, yes. But I didn't have to apologize. There's a certain couple people in like that red pill community that I used to like interact with. And like some of them are like crypto dudes as well. And they kind of like taught me about crypto, and crypto is really new. So, I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's like, we were all kind of like a little bit, like trying to figure stuff out. But I was in paid courses. I got relationships with these guys. And then eventually I started shit talking them. And it wasn't my place to shit talk them, really. Like, I kind of just went out of my way to shit talk them. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily the way that I like to do things. And this guy actually helped me in a lot of ways. For real. Like, he actually did. Like, when I was in a time of crisis in my life, he was there and other people were not. Whether I had to pay, do this, that, like, he helped me. He one-on-one, face-to-face with me and helped me. So I was doing some thinking this morning. I reached out to him. He said he wants to come on the show. I said, let's do it. Guys, you know me. What's my superpower? I try not to lie, and I have way more time than everyone. And you guys have seen my calves. Like, I will go till the end of time. Literally, I'm a sick fucker. Guys, Gym Rat Crypto. Let's go.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Gym Rat sent me to show you the way.
D5 Pro.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
We don't fall.
Crypt in the morning. Crypt in the morning.
We're gonna take notes.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
We don't fall.
Crypt in the morning. Crypt in the morning.
We're gonna take notes.
What's Gucci? What's up, brother? How you doing? I'm excited this morning. I'm excited to talk about
75 in here before the outro, before the intro.
which is dope. That's a good number. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Take a second if you enjoy the show. If you're here now, make it valuable. Press that like button. Press the subscribe button. Press the share button. Get this over 100 because we have a special guest today who is awesome. ORCA in the house. He's going to be dropping some really good stuff, some stuff that he's interested in doing.
No,
maybe
he's dropping some bombs.
Yes, you know the atomic bomb.
Dude, are you
that is
excited
about
for
to
the
go.
combo? Because this is a little out of your technical, like we're getting a little into that, like more like community talk today, like a bit more, it seems like at least, and where that's, you're so good with the numbers, right? You're so good at like, oh, this works, this works, this works. And then sometimes when we get into that, like, oh, it also like 100,000 plebs have to like it. You're like, oh yeah. Like,
well, if anything, I need a nap, so that works out perfectly, right?
No, but anyway, but like, let's be honest, Sam. We're talking about fiat here, and at the end of the day, that's what we're all after, right? We could beat around the bush all day long, but we're talking about our bank accounts and crypto accounts moving in this direction. We're not talking about much else. If that happens, people will be happy. They won't care about who's like fucking doing whatever. But there's guys like ORCA who they think things through in an actual real manner rather than just like splatting their information out all over the place before they look into it, like think about it. Like he has introspection with himself by himself before he opens his mouth, which is rare.
This is true.
It is. And I do the same thing. Just like this morning when I woke up, I was like, I feel like I should probably mend these relationships. Whether or not that made me feel like I was right or wrong, I was just like, I'm just going to do it. Fuck it. Why not? So, guys,
it's better to collaborate with people and help people than it is to be enemies with people.
Yes,
so
I know. That's why I was like,
yes.
What up?
Look at sharp. I like your shirt.
You're looking sharp. You're looking healthy. What the heck is going on with ORCA?
Yo, man, I've been doing great. So I'm on day 5 of a 7-day fast. I'm putting myself through like the real mental test today because I'm taking the girls out for sushi and like I'm not going to be eating. So I'm going to be staring at a bunch of tasty sushi I usually order and just like having to deal with it. But it's been going really well. Mental clarity is huge. Definitely detoxing, getting a lot of the garbage out of my body. And I went in with some pretty garbage fuel going in to like get my last degen meal in. So I knew I was going to go through like some serious acidosis, but for the most part, I've been doing all right. And I'm getting out for walks and everything still. So just trying to raise a level during a bear market, man.
Yeah, it's because you're doing daily. If I remember correctly, you're doing like a daily walk, right? Or trying to do a daily walk. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to get at least 2 miles in, get some hills in.
Probably on the TMI side for a lot of people, but I'm curious because I do fasting regularly. How is like, so for me, I do a 24-hour fast every month, and I would like to expand that at some point to maybe a 48-hour like every month. And the day of the fast, I don't really shit. Like I don't go, I might go to the bathroom the first thing in the morning, and then I like piss all day, but like I don't like go take a shit. So what is that like when you have, you know what I mean? I'm sure this is TMI for everybody here. We're going to get into some good shit.
It is a real question though. So like you definitely have less bowel movements, but you'll find that as you get further, so it's kind of like day 1, you're going to kind of get rid of all the solid, but then days 2, 3, 4, it's kind of all, you know, just what you drank is coming out. And then after that, you start to actually have some of the breakdown of the visceral fat and things like that, where it does add some density back to your experience, if you will. So
this is cool. Are you going to be doing this on a perpetual basis? Because fasting is so valuable from a health standpoint.
Yeah. So for a while, like a couple of months ago, I was I fell back into a degen routine where, because I stay up late and I do a lot of research at night, it's so easy to snack, and it fluctuates my blood sugar so much that in the morning I'll kind of wake up and it's like, ooh, I should eat something just to quell the kind of volatility. And so I was getting into this almost like endless feeding loop and not sleeping very much, which is bad for the metabolism and things like that. So every now and then I'll just arbitrarily choose a length of time. This time it's 7 days. Longest I've ever gone is 40 days. And
Holy shit.
yeah, it was crazy, dude. We could talk about that sometime.
Wow.
But for me, it's an exercise in spiritual enlightenment, focus, mental discipline, as well as getting all of the health benefits. So I try to challenge myself in ways that all of the weight is on me. You know, there's no excuse. I'm not going to die if I don't eat for 7 days. I got plenty of love handle to go. So for me, it's just like, let's commit and let's prove to ourselves that when we say something, we can stick to our word.
Well, your body's actually going through a transformative experience on the inside at this moment, because it's actually eating away at some of that stuff that had no use with inside of you, because that's what goes first, right? In my mind, at least, like when I think about myself and I think about, because I mean, I go all the time. I think I was tanning yesterday at 5 p.m., like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. And I was with somebody and I was like, I haven't eaten yet. And she was like, what? And I was like, I haven't eaten yet. And, you know, like, and I was going to get something to eat. But in general, I feel as if I'm doing my body a service. I feel like I'm whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but it's like a spiritual thing too. It's like, I have no connection with food until I say so, until I say so.
Definitely.
And it's like, if you go way too far down that rabbit hole, you get like anorexic, right? You never want to be like complete. You have to sustain yourself, of course. And obviously the bodybuilding part helps with that for me. But like in general, I feel like I'm trying to keep myself efficient. And that's a very easy way. Let's be honest, guys. It's easy. It's easier.
Yeah, it's easy and it's cheap, man. So if you're into saving money in a bear market, not eating is a great way to pull that off.
I tell people my food bills, and they do not believe me. 0% of the time. It's like $50 a week, or whatever. I haven't even counted anymore, because I can eat chicken thighs for like 6 weeks, and it's not even like 2 bags of chicken thighs, rice, whatever veggies I have. And then like I'll even get like a burger every once in a while. Go out somewhere with somebody, get a burger, whatever, because
you two have really good diet. We should call them behaviors, right? Because people say like diet, but that usually implies that it's going to be a fad in their life. But you've both obviously committed, and I've seen some of the meals. Jim Rat the chicken looks awesome, especially right now. But it's like, for me, especially, I was coming off such a trash diet that I actually, because of the Crypto Fitness Challenge, I began eating much healthier. I did intermittent fasting. I was incorporating way more of the whole foods, vegetables, fruits. And then I kind of decided that while that progress was great and I was achieving a behavioral change for myself, I wanted to use a fast as like another gut punch to try and flush out some of the trash I've accumulated through bad behaviors in the kitchen. And so this is like a way to just take what I've already developed as a much more consistent. I think I was going at least 40 days straight without any candy. I don't drink soda. I don't drink alcohol really. Like once a year, maybe I drink. And so this was like, okay, if I do a 7-day fast, I'm going to expel all the other garbage that's kind of hard to get to. You know, it'd take months of eating leafy greens for me to really flush that out. So this gives the body a chance to reset, and then we'll restart with a much healthier starting point.
I love that comment from who is that from?
Cabana. He said bear market tips with ORCA. Stop eating.
Stop eating.
Hey, I've been screaming that tip. I've been screaming that tip across the rooftops for a long time. It feels like now, like it's just like, but no one wants to hear the truth, you know. Like it's just like,
dude, there's a really good
documentary. Like, oh, your form's this, your form's that, this, that, and the other, and I'm like, dude, I'm freaking 7% body fat, and I'm trying to gain weight. Like,
and we know, dude, like the sugar industry has totally corrupted the narrative on nutrition. So like you can't even go to Google usually to get good info. You're like, hey, how do I lose weight? And they're like, well, just eat a shitload of carbohydrates. And it's like, well, hold on now, wait, what's going on here? Like, why are we telling this to people?
And then people, they're like, whenever I mention the not eating a lot, they're just, the first thing they say is that's unhealthy. And I'm like,
look at your body, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's unhealthy. Like look at you. Like
I'm
look
like,
your blood
I'm
work.
like, I can run a mile in 6 minutes. Like I can literally tear you in half and
Those
feast
calves
on
are
you.
no joke, dog. Those
No,
calves
but I'm
were
telling
looking like
you, like,
fiber
it
optic
makes
cable.
no sense. What they think, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And one of the last part I wanted to say about like the fitness stuff, and I just want to get this out there because this is the truth in my life. The reason I keep my fitness this way is because it makes doing things like this much easier and more effective. Period. End of story. People like to hang out with me because I'm ripped. I don't make the rules.
Right.
I don't fucking make the
Dude,
rules.
I joked
do
about
not
that back when I
create
had a big beer belly. I was like, look, if I didn't have crypto gains, I'd have a lot less going for me out here.
Everyone has their shit though too. Like I doubled down on that because it wasn't working out in other shit for me. Like I wasn't connecting in work. I wasn't connecting with certain mechanisms yet. I just wasn't there yet. I just this is what I had to do, and at the end of the day, the only reason I do it now is one, because it's kind of easy, and two, it just benefits me a whole lot. It's just like girls that want to talk to me, adults, people's parents want to talk. Like it just, and I hate to be brash and I hate to be real with people.
It's real, man.
When I was 126 pounds in college, I remember, believe it or not, I was a human back then too. I was still breathing every single day. I was 126 pounds. Girls wouldn't even look fucking near me. They wouldn't even go around me because I had no confidence too. But like I was also very small and I had no confidence. But now it's like it was like a freebie to me.
If you think of like life as like a social game, so to speak, because that's what it is. One, to get an advantage, right? Like if we're all playing Monopoly or any game, it's like what's the strategy that's going to help you succeed or be better at that game? And we all know the cliche saying that your network is your net worth, right? But that's a lot of times referred to financial, but it also helps with this, right? Your mental health and your relationships and all that kind of stuff. Well, one like cheat code in life is being healthier. I'm sure this has taken place with GRC, but I would just literally be in the grocery store and people will come talk to me. And they'll start conversations with me. It's like, hey man, looks like you work out. Or like, I'll be out in public at the beach or something with my girlfriend. People will literally just start conversations with me because of that. So it's almost
because
like
you look different. You look unique. It's almost like you look unique. So people don't see someone that's really lean and cares like overdrive all the time about their stuff. And then also tells people the reality about it too. I'm like, this is reality. Like, I know this shit doesn't really matter. Like, it makes no difference. When I'm 60, no one's going to give a shit. If I died today, no one's going to give a shit, to be honest. But you learn along your journey, and then you become more efficient and less emotional. And it's like, I'm not just less emotional now. But anyway, I got to switch this subject.
Cabana, I just got one of those hats. I'm going to wear it to the beach if I go this afternoon.
I want to talk, and I want you and ORCA to go back and forth a lot on this. Okay. And I'm going to just moderate more so when we're talking about this. The fitness challenge has so positive for many. I've had so many friends in the community. Yeah, the cool thing about the fitness challenge is a lot of the people that didn't even get involved with it were like motivated by it, which was great. Which was like, it's just like cool. Now people are all freaking working out. Like, great. You know what I mean? Like, it was super efficient. Like I know people that DM me all the time and they're like, you just were really talking about motivational shit all the time. And so I just started working out all the time.
And you're like, this is awesome. This is great. This is how everybody should do it.
This exactly. But anyway, so getting to the NFTs, I want to talk about for real. Like, you're talking to two guys that just have so little experience when it comes to pictures, creativity. Sure. I lift weights. I like boobs. Like, I don't look at pictures very much. Ever. I just never have been that kind of guy. Like, but I know that
unless there's some butt cheeks on it or something.
Yeah, but I know there's some value there because of speculative value. I've seen the Fortnite craze. I saw the millions of transactions that happened on Fortnite. I looked up those numbers live one time, and they were astounding. The number of skins purchased on Fortnite. And I'm like, is that just about to happen? And are we waiting for someone like you or someone who's actually thinking about this in a more logical way? What is your whole take on the NFT space, and where would you like to kind of move it and see it?
For sure. So just because I know we have a lot of Hexicans in the house and Richard has been very vocal about his opinion on NFTs, I would like to preface the conversation with, just like any industry, you will find many people looking to take advantage of you in the NFT marketplace, the same way that they do with the altcoin marketplace, the same way that they do with YouTube videos telling you to send blue chips to them for 2 in return. And so I don't want anybody to think that I'm here to tell you like, hey guys, NFTs are the thing that we should all go for. I'm a huge Hexakin. I'm stacked and ready to go in on the new chain. I do like to invest in productive assets, but there is a special part of the economy that's being left out. And these are the creatives, your developers, your builders, your artists. And we know this because there's common phrases like starving artist, which is indicative of somebody who has the creative potential to bring artistic expression to the marketplace, but there's not a great path for entrepreneurship, or at least for entrepreneurial success. And so NFTs solve the largest problem in the history of the art game, and that is what we refer to as provenance. And so you can look up the definition of provenance, but essentially what it means is the ability to prove the genesis of where a body of work came from. So the example that I love to give is that if you ever look up Basquiat's The Skull, it's a painting on a concrete wall.
Bulge, can you pull it up?
And it's, you know, invaluable. It's a unique artist, and you could try to forge it, and many artists do try to forge it, and many artists have forged wonderful works of art all the way, you know, the Mona Lisa, anything you can think of that's worth any value has been forged. And when that happens, the economic energy that should be rewarded to the creative person that developed that idea and brought it to life is stripped from them, and it's put in the hands of scammers, right? So we see that all the time in crypto as well. But with NFTs, you have the ability to actually prove where the origin came from. And so this is the image of The Skull by Basquiat. Now, when it's on a concrete wall and it's signed by Basquiat, it's very easy to tell that he made it. But if you didn't see that before and you walked up to any other concrete wall and you saw that similar painting and not exactly the same and a forged signature, and you're not familiar with his signatures, you might fall for it and think, hey, I would, like many store owners do, rip that concrete off the wall and hold on to it as a work of art for themselves. And so NFTs provide provenance through code. We're able to track who actually produced the work of art. We're able to build royalty mechanisms in that reward or make whole the artist when their work is sold on marketplaces and when they're resold in secondary marketplaces. And so that's sort of what people need to understand when we talk about, I saw Cabana Crypto. So the Hex toys and HSI NFTs, they both have utility and they're both valuable in that way. They also would not be valuable if there wasn't any provenance. If you made an HSI stake and then you couldn't prove that it's yours and anybody on earth could just walk up and grab it, it wouldn't be worth anything. It wouldn't be worth committing to that counterparty risk. If the Hex toys could be forged and I started ripping them off and selling duplicate, lower quality toys with lower overhead to take profit in the form of reduced cost to the marketplace.
What is Josh? Josh has this question, and this is the same question that was running through my mind. So Josh Perry, thank you. What are Hex toys?
So Hex Toys is a creation that blends the Web3 world with the physical world. They've produced NFTs of like notable figures in the Hex community, as well as like notable memes. So maybe like, I don't know if they have this, but like the 5555 diamond or like a Hex medallion, things like that. And perfect. So they also have physical production of the toys that they show you in the NFTs so that you can own a physical creation while you have your digital asset as well. So you know, the
like,
older
Sam,
generations have tangible value.
Dope.
It'd be
So
like if you bought a shield, Sam, if you bought a shield and then on your OpenSea, they would also send you like a plaque with the shield going in a circle or whatever artwork was associated with that. And then that could in turn become valuable dependent on the ecosystem, which is kind of where like, that's like where most of the talk is in my mind. Like, it's like, you think, how do you build an ecosystem? And what do most people do, Sam? These super rich models and stuff, you know, kind of, they just like put pictures of themselves, but they're super popular. So they already have ecosystems. That's why their stuff is worth a lot. People think it's just all a scam, but in reality, they did a lot of work to get to the point where they could scam people.
And that's like the value that these things are selling for. People who are not familiar with the fine arts tend to.
I need an action figure. Whoever runs this site, I need an action figure.
Yeah, dude,
like,
GRC,
like
Sam
flexing
stole
what?
action figures.
Yeah,
You guys would make the perfect model for action figures, man.
bro. I should definitely be an action figure out here. I'm trying to focus and I can't even get the idea out of my head. I was
we need to get ORCA one first. We need to get ORCA one first with that beautiful beard.
Oh man, I don't know how they're going to be able to make that. If anything, make it a little fuller than mine. But the thing that's interesting is like we can see the prices on these goods, and people that aren't familiar with art, and these are slightly different because there are physical assets. They don't understand that there is no value to the painting. The value is the artist. That's the essence of provenance. That's been true for thousands of years, and it's not ever going to change because we have the ability to make copies. We have the ability to make prints. We have the ability to forge things so well that the human eye can't detect that it's not the original work. And therefore, the chain of custody and the chain of origin creation, the provenance, is really what brings value to art. And that's why you can have the Beatles drop any song and it'll become, triple diamond on the charts or whatever. But if I were to go and cover that song, no one really cares. I might do okay. I might extract some value, but the real value is in the creators of the original work. And that transcends all of the products that they bring to the marketplace. So why are we talking about this, right? Like, what is it all about? There are a lot of things going on in crypto. And in my opinion, the population of people that are involved in crypto has not reached significant critical mass. The few exceptions might be Bitcoin and Ethereum. But even to that extent, they are largely correlated with legacy markets, which tells me that we haven't achieved Satoshi's dream.
Though. The market cap, even, which is an inflated number we know, is not substantial.
It's not enough, right? So it's not Apple. And unlike Apple, they also don't have like physical value. So there's really the philosophical value of blockchain and the ability to have autonomy, things that are very valuable, but the marketplace just hasn't adopted it yet. The learning curve is probably steep. The stigmatism around, like, how hard it is to talk to girls and be like, so anyway, art is really cool. And they're like, okay, art. And you go, so NFTs. And they're like, just blacked out, not interested. They hear those buzzwords, NFTs, Web3, crypto, most of them, it's like.
Unless they're nerdy already and they stream.
Like, yeah, which is ironic because like most of my Hexagon onboards are women. So like women are smarter than us typically. Like they're willing to listen to something that maybe they aren't familiar with and like give it a real listening. Whereas like guys, we get all jacked up on our testosterone. It's like, you can't tell me what's real and what's not. I have my own opinions about that.
Well, that's why I always talk about that with Sam. Me and Sam have that problem too, because we're all jacked up all the time. It's normal guy stuff. But if you get with guys that you really trust, you have to really trust them really hard.
Yeah.
It's rare. But you can be honest with those people. But in general, yeah, guys, I'll bucket anyone that I don't know. Anyone I don't know. Anyone I don't know
with a headshot.
I'm like, you don't know shit. I'm like, what do you know? Like, but like, that's me. I'm a weirdo. But anyway, that NFT was pretty cool. I kind of want to look at that.
$13,000 for that.
I want to look at this one. Richard Hart's second anniversary. Sale ends July 18th, 2022 at 6:16 p.m. GMT. And that is -4 to Eastern Standard. Current price 7.77 ETH, and ETH is on a discount, guys, right now. So you're stealing this Richard Hart second anniversary right now. It's a steal for you Hex whales out there and you ETH whales. Wendy's. I have a birthday too, Wendy's. You know what I mean? Like
this comes with an actual toy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
That toy right there, Sam, that toy right there. You get that toy.
I definitely need a action figure for fucking sure.
Cabana, can you make this
ever since Sam heard his name in the song, he's like, yeah, I need everything. Yeah, I need an action figure.
Hey, DeFi, shout out to DeFi Proof, by the way. Thank you so much for the song. You're an absolute animal. And the Sauce Chat, if you guys don't know, I don't know if he wants me to be talking about the Sauce Chat, but the Sauce Chat is lit and the best memes in the game. Memes I've never even seen. You know what I'm saying, guys. But anyway, Cabana, real quick before you go, Sam, please. I know you know the guy, Cabana. I know you know the guy that does the action figures. I know it. I know you, Cabana. You know that guy. And I will have Sam hawk you down, brother. Like you ain't. I know you're in the same region. aren't you? Hey, you don't want
The
that guy
US?
on you don't want that guy on your ass. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm kidding, guy. But seriously, I will do whatever it takes. I will do manual labor. I will do what I want an action figure really bad.
That'll be super
Okay,
dope.
now go on.
So you have NFTs of art. The idea of authenticity is probably a better or a more acceptable or easier word for a lot of people to grasp. And that authenticity is what creates the value, is essentially what you've been saying there. And then you were about to get into something else, and then I got distracted by thinking about myself as an action figure, and you're going to go into the next thing. So please.
Well, see, that's the brilliance behind them. I can tie it all in together, you guys. So the brilliance behind Hex Toys is that they understand many people have a difficult time embracing value with intangible objects. And so they're helping bridge the gap, right? The boomer generation has no interest in crypto for the most part because Bitcoin is not tangible. And they would rather own hard assets and rights to companies that own real inventory. But the reality is that there are ways to produce intrinsic value that are not tangible. Our friendship is intangible, but I find it highly valuable. And so with that in mind, and we all know that community drives success for most projects in crypto, because as we discussed, the market hasn't reached critical mass. It's not a saturated kind of self-fulfilling prophecy of return customers and adoption of new customers. And so there are some examples that we'll share that have shown a path to massive economic success using intangible benefits to community building inside of their NFT projects. And I am in communication with some people that are OG Bitcoin, OG Ethereum, literally Genesis block Ethereum type people who are full-time developers and artists that run extremely high-level Web3 DeFi applications where it's not about making some private corporation billions of dollars. It's about education and spreading the utility to ordinary folks like us who maybe aren't developers or not coders and things like that, and doing it in a way that is market competitive to any of the big names like OpenSea or Rarible or any of them. So what I have done is, during this bear market, I'm watching a lot of pitches for a lot of projects, and it's always some crazy ambitious, and don't get me wrong, I love ambition. But these projects are so ambitious, man. And when you're talking about how small the crypto universe is, you're trying to solve problems that we don't even technically have yet because people don't know that they have these problems yet. You know, people didn't know that they had a problem with the Fed.
More, by the way, could not agree more that people are trying to get at things that just don't need to be get at.
We're just not there yet.
Super cool DeFi stuff is cool to think about and cool to like talk to Sam about, but it's like, where's the price appreciation? All right, go on.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, is like, these ideas are brilliant. You're pitching it to such a small audience that it's like, hey, I can only go in so many directions without being torn apart. So we have to at least try to pitch the real adoption narrative of crypto in general, as opposed to, hey, here's my niche product that doesn't really have the ability to sustain its token supply or anything like that, but if people adopt it in the future, it'll be successful. And it's like, yeah, I love that, man. I love that. But good luck. We're just not there yet. And it's not your fault. The idea isn't the problem. The market is the problem. And so we don't have, when Richard talks about market product fit, the market comes first. The product comes second. And if the market doesn't want it, then it doesn't matter if there's a supply of one or a supply of a billion, it'll never have value. So I have looked at what have been the most successful NFT projects. Everyone's aware of like Bored Ape Yacht Club. And more recently, the most successful and the #1 trending project on OpenSea is called GoblinTown.wtf. And people know from Motley and myself and Wendy's, and you know, we're familiar with the pain of Goblin Town when crypto winter hits and you're going down, down, down into the caves and the prices are going down, down, down with you. So this is an NFT collection, and I'll be the first one to say, I don't find any of this art impressive. I don't find any of it impressive. But if you scroll up to the top, Bullish, and you give a look at, you can filter by like last sold. It should be that little thing right there. I think they have like recently sold or last sold. you can see the actual prices that some of these have gone for. And in some cases, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars. Depends, right, on what the market is after.
What kind of volume are we? Do they show volume per like?
They have 10,000 pieces in the collection total, and then you would have to dig into each individual NFT. But if you look at that chart, so does that chart look like any of the coins that you own during this bear market? That's the definition of up and to the right. Okay,
Wow.
so the idea here is that rather than high token supplies that have to onboard every single person that's competing for every other person's attention in Web3 for their token, you have a much more limited supply, and you have individual token, if you will, value proposition, or at least price speculation opportunity. And so the thing about Bored Ape Yacht Club is that it was started by a company called Yuga Labs, highly centralized company. They are not interested in Web3 for the purpose of educating anybody about anything. They are strictly in it for the money. And they produced a highly viral NFT campaign by spending millions of dollars in marketing. I think it was upwards of $12 million in the first month of launch for their marketing. And so the reason I bring up the Goblintown.WTF is, unlike Bored Ape Yacht Club, which you had to pay potentially thousands of dollars for minting. Everyone remembers probably about a month ago when gas fees were like 1,300 Gwei and stuff like that, even higher.
And the cost for reference for people, like they're 1,300 Gwei. The highest I saw was like $13,000 or 12 grand or something. $12,000 to do one transaction of $100.
And that was because Yuga Labs is smart, and they came up with a Web3 idea for like a virtual reality where you buy land, and then what they didn't tell anybody is that you actually have to go build the virtual reality for the land to exist in. Like, they weren't going to do the real work. They just minted a bunch of pictures of land with like video game stats, and they're like, here you go, you own it now, and it doesn't exist anywhere unless somebody out there goes and builds a thing for it. But people don't care, because the way that Richard would be able to tell you is like, there are a lot of people that can spend money to convince plebs to dump money into things. So the excitement was built behind viral marketing campaigns where they shelled a ton of money out, and it was successful. Some people do that and they're not successful, but the mint prices were hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. And this was during the bull market. Then your Ethereum price on these things, that on the secondary market, if you didn't mint an original, which means if you didn't kind of download one straight from the contract when they were not totally sold out, people were going and spending $1 million to go and get a picture of a monkey. And there's more to it than art. There's the community, there's private discourses that you get to have with a network that is wealthy and has a lot of experience.
I sold my dragon chainmail on RuneScape IRL for like $400.
Yeah.
I see because I think NFTs are interesting as like a smart contract, right? And the capabilities are just limited by the resourcefulness and creativity of the people who are going to be implementing this. But when you think about some of the really successful ones that you've mentioned, there's Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then there's the
Goblintown.
And there's what's the other one that's very popular that got purchased by Bored Ape, or vice versa? One of those, Bored Ape Yacht Club and Cyber. One of those two got purchased the other one and purchased all the IP associated with it recently.
Yeah, I recall the story, but I can't remember the project.
Yeah, and it's almost like, I think I'm like as a country club, right? But it's in the digital universe where if we all have, pictures of fucking monkeys, then we get to talk to other people who have pictures of monkeys, like being in the club for the Lamborghinis, or in a Tesla club, or in a club for any type of, you name it, and there's a club or something associated with it, and you get to be around those people who also think that thing is cool. And as you had mentioned, right, the friendship around the three of us have is there's no necessary value in there, but being able to purchase into this like group of people with that behind it, so to speak, is very interesting.
Definitely. That's one of the many utilities, and we'll get to Club Cats because that's where we're gonna all have a lot of fun. But a couple of things I wanted to bring up about Goblintown.WTF, like why am I showing that project alongside Bored Ape Yacht Club? It's because unlike Bored Ape Yacht Club, Goblintown allowed people to mint for free. So for just the cost of a basic OpenSea transaction cost, you could get your picture. And if you look at the floor for them now, they're selling for thousands of dollars. So you could have spent roughly $50. And now, by being in this community that has 10,000 NFTs, because of the coordination of the community and their resilience to sell lower, they have, I think that floor price has 4.45 ETH, and that's in a bear market. So it's 4.5 ETH at bottom dollar cost for Ethereum in the micro scale. And there's the community aspect, sure, but even people that aren't participating every day in the community have the ability to make serious coinage just by having this limited resource, and they were able to get it for free. So it proves that there is actually real money making. That's a real offer right now, $10,000 for something that would have cost roughly $70 for that person to mint. So it's unheard of, right? It's insane. And the reason that I bring up Goblin Town is because they showed that by combining strategies from the Bored Ape Yacht Club community and what I consider to be more equitable marketing strategies, give it away for free. If they love it, more people will come and they'll enjoy it. Bored Ape Yacht Club had an individual that bought 1,200 of the NFTs, and he set all of his prices to astronomical Ethereum levels. And that allowed everyone else that owned any of the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs to follow suit. And so this is market making without order books. This is market making in eBay auctions, but we all as a community come together and say, if any one of us is going to make money, shouldn't it be the most money? Because we don't have to sell these things. And if anyone just wants the art, they could right click save and copy paste that image and say, hey, I have a picture of a monkey too. But the real value is in the provenance. It's in who created it, who has owned it, who has exchanged for it. What can I get for it in intangible terms? And so when you look at GoblinTown.WTF, they hijacked the culture of market making and setting high floors together, as well as some individuals going out and buying several NFTs to create a pretty significant ownership of the pool. And they're benevolent because they want everyone to kind of, as a middle finger to Yuga Labs, they wanted to show that they could make just as much money as Bored Ape Yacht Club without any of the initial upfront cost. And so
talk about the floor with the Goblin Town. So you minted them, and then there's an incentive or some person who had a bunch of them and set a high floor for Goblin Town.
They had several hundred in the case of GoblinTown.WTF, and they just set their floor at like 8 Ethereum right out of the gate. And so other people will undercut it so that they can get theirs sold. But remember, just like in crypto tokens, most people buy a speculative asset hoping the price goes up. So whoever bought it for less than 80 on one of these non-whale holders, they have to turn around and sell it for profit or just enjoy the benefits of whatever intangibles come with it. And so with that regard, they might look at the whale who's still holding a higher floor than what they bought at and said, okay, that's my floor too. Or even I'll find the margin between the price I paid and the price that they're offering. So I'd hate to use the word collusion because it's a dirty word, but it's like community-driven price strategies and market making. And you can't do that.
Nicest way of putting collusion.
Yeah, yeah. Because at the end of the day, we're not trying to offload assets to people so that we kind of cut and run. That's not the idea behind Goblin Town. The idea is that if you want to be a part of this community, our relationships, our experience, and all of that is worth something. And you can either just hang out on the sidelines and enjoy life, or you can pay to play. And it's not unfair, like maybe some people think of Bored Ape Yacht Club, where you go, well, you have to have so much money to even participate. Goblin Town let you mint them for free, man. You just had to pay a gas fee. It's no different than Pulse Dogecoin. You just had to pay a gas fee. So if you want to be a part of something, you can take the risk of a gas fee and get involved. And you might be in a community that's willing to set high prices and reward you for being a holder and being a marketer of the community. So I developed a little grassroots movement called Club Cats. And we're hijacking everybody's game theory that is most successful. This is Steak and Apes had an artist kind of just throw this together. It's just a fun picture of a cat. This isn't like any of the final product or anything. This is just kind of a placeholder. But the idea behind Club Cats is that there are people within my network, including myself, who have a serious passion for educating folks on the reality of crypto and the real truth of Web3 without needing to shill any given particular project. We want to be able to educate you on sound security advice. We want to be able to educate you on sound investing strategies, on maybe you're interested in how to read charts, anything like that. We have wealth of knowledge that we can share with people. And with Club Cats, we're going to take artists that are not corporate, sellout, easily hired marketing folk and allow them to produce art and then give away free mints and NFT giveaways. Just flat out, we'll pay the gas fee and we'll give it to whoever is willing to participate in the community. And we'll coach the community that participates in Club Cats on how to establish best interest pricing strategies. So that with a limited supply, maybe a collection only has 1,000 pieces, maybe it has 10,000 pieces. Some of us with the capital to perform the Bored Ape Yacht Club strategy would be willing to buy up a large supply with not really the intention to sell it, but to set the price floor at a significant level so that everyone else who's interested in getting a quick buck can undercut and sell into any demand in the market for that project. Whoever buys that immediately takes ownership of the opportunity to come in and have conversations with us learning about Web3. But additionally, the more people that understand the market making power that they have, especially in a scarce resource like an NFT collection with intangible benefits, that gives us the incentive to keep the price floor high. And that's how you get that beautiful line on the goblintown.wtf. So some of the goals, like the idea, the reason it's called Club Cat is I enjoy going to nightclubs. I enjoy dancing. And so I just imagine a nightclub where instead of humans for patrons, you get a bunch of cats. You got cats wearing bucket hats, cats flipping glow sticks, cats doing questionable nip in the bathrooms, all sorts of just fun stuff, because we're in a bear market. And so it's just all about having fun, because otherwise, if you're looking at price charts right now, you're going to go crazy. And so this is an opportunity to take your mind off of price, still learn about how to be a more effective player in the crypto world, onboard people into a safe environment that has verifiable information so that they know. I've built a reputation. The people that I've worked with have a reputation where we're not doing anything. It's not pay for play. You can just come in and learn, have fun with us, and nobody's there to exploit you. And I refuse to allow anybody to hijack the project into a way that would become a cash grab, because it's just not interesting to me. So what we're really doing is giving away NFTs, or you can mint them for gas, and then taking that community and educating them on how to make money with that, and putting a fat royalty in the making, so that while the artist won't make diddly up front on the mint, when we establish our power in the marketplace through the fund that our community has, which we will.
Which, and I will literally put a warrior spirit into killing Club Cats.
It's so fun, man. It's so fun. Cats are the OG success on the internet, but nobody's really done it. Yes. Yeah, but nobody's really made it like all of the cats in crypto have been like scams. So this is like, there's no ammunition for anybody to try and call this a scam, because you don't have to pay to play. If you want, you can just hijack a JPEG on the internet of a cat and come into my Twitter spaces and talk with us and get all the info for free. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. I want to reach as many people as possible, but I also want people to get hands-on experience with becoming entrepreneurs or market makers in crypto without exposing themselves to things like impermanent loss, or in the dynamic free market like Hex even, or Bitcoin or Ethereum. There's no way, with how many players have money in the game and have their own financial incentives in play, there's no way to coordinate a success for all players. There's no strategy where all players win. Some people buy tops and sell bottoms. It's in the game. It's the same in any legacy market. So this is where we're essentially setting the bottom for you to buy at 0 or a gas fee. We can also do Polygon mints, so it's literally like pennies. You could just play for pennies. And then through grassroots community building, we will establish the real intrinsic value of our relationships as well as potential partnerships, so that people have monetary value behind their participation. And a lot of people ask about like tokenomics and game theory and stuff. A lot of people don't realize that they're investing in like unregistered securities offering. So I don't do any of that. Like if you get a Club Cats NFT, there's no buy and burn. There's no, this token gets bought and redistributed. None of that matters. Goblin Town doesn't do that. Bored Ape Yacht Club doesn't do that. So there's really no need for the extra like learning curve of adding tokenomics to things. What we're looking at is having some collections that align with different industries. So cat food and restaurants would be targets that we would go after for partnerships, where there's pet stores all over the place that have to buy a ton of different brands for the diversity of product on shelves. And inevitably at the end of the month, they have inventory that isn't turning, and they're looking to get that off the shelves. So imagine that you own a cat because you love cats, and you're in Club Cats because you love cats. You got to feed this damn cat. And maybe your cat's not picky. Maybe it's a fat cat. And we form a partnership with like a Petco so that you could validate with zero KYC proof that you own the NFT, generate a one-time use QR code, go into the store, get a 10% discount on the inventory that they're trying to move. Go to a restaurant, 10% discount because you're in the Club Cats ecosystem. And that brings the mutual marketing benefits to companies. It's not an expectation of profit from the work of others. It doesn't pass the Howey test, which is a good thing. So there's a lot of ways that you can create game theory through the social intangible benefits of a club. And we have the intent to build those networks. We already have people that are interested in networking that have those kind of social
how does
relationships.
GMAT get involved?
Here's how you get involved. So we don't have any collections available right now. I'm literally trying to slow roll this so that people don't FOMO, because the last thing I want is for us to move so fast that people forget the message and they forget the strategies that we're employing.
And the value prop rips up too high, and then
and that's how you get bubbles and stuff like that. And then you're incentivizing a lot of people to go, ooh, it sounded good when he pitched this as like, we're all in it together, but I might be in it for me all of a sudden. And even if that happens, if we approach it slowly, we have a way of mitigating the overall impact on everyone else. But when you're starting at a cost basis of zero, it's very difficult to lose. And so you could join the Twitter spaces. You're obviously, we're buddies. We can DM all the time or whatever. So we will get you plenty of lead time to know that a collection is coming available. We're also, before we launch the collections, we're going to be having spaces with the actual artists that are making these NFTs to give their background and their story, because that's the essence of provenance. I want people to value the person that's creating the art. I'm working with Steak and Apes, or he goes by the Club Cats distribution officer, chief distribution officer. He's the one always giving away NFTs. And
he's the man.
Yeah, man. He's got folks that can do VR. So we're actually going to build a real club, like a nightclub in Web3, where people that hold Club Cats NFTs can come in, and that's like just a social hangout spot. Maybe we'll have a DJ, a featured DJ, just if we want to listen to music. You can have little conversations.
So when you show up to this club, you are your NFT, and you can interact and talk to people.
So you'll get to actually have like a fun virtual reality experience if you're into that stuff. If you're not, it doesn't really matter. There's so much to be gained just from the educational content that we'll provide and the professional relationships and networking. Like, there's a lot of people in my network that can help entrepreneurs or people that are seeking entrepreneurial success. They've done it, they've succeeded at it, and they love to talk about it. So this is just a convenient excuse for us to all get into a room and put our focus hats on for a second and talk about what the people want to hear. And so the beauty behind Club Cats is, like, you risk nothing. And if you're willing to commit to the community, you stand to gain a tremendous value on top of your free NFT. And at the same time, you can feel good because you're actually economically empowering people who are the most marginalized producers in the economy today, artists who have their work stolen from them. They have their work kind of just pushed to the side because, oh, I don't understand it. Whatever the case may be, this utilizes code to ensure that the artists are always being made whole. And so they
get a royalty on transfers?
Yep. And if you look at Goblin Town's code, I believe the royalty is 7.5%. And so at first, a lot of people that missed out on Goblin Town were really bitter. And they were like, yeah, but there's a 7.5% royalty tax. And it's like, well, yeah, but you got it for free. And now you've made tens of thousands of dollars on the NFT. So 7%, being taken from you on something that you didn't pay for, essentially, it's, why would you even care?
Real quick, guys, just so I can, in the comments, I don't drop my Telegram link very often because I don't like it to get too many people that I don't like. But I dropped it in here. I'll drop it one more time. This is your chance. At 200, I'm probably going to not drop the link for a while again. So if you want to join, that's where we talk about our alpha and the memes.
Definitely.
So
of
how does like for the so you're mentioning it around education, right? And
Mhm.
bringing the divide, right? I
Mhm.
call it the Grand Canyon of a discrepancy between legacy and crypto, right? That's a
Yep.
gigantic divide, and you're talking about closing that gap. How is that education going to be distributed, or how is that taking place within this ecosystem or in the community?
For sure. So I like to utilize Twitter Spaces because I can engage with people casually in conversation and allow them to ask questions live, get clarification live. So that's one of the easiest ways. I'm also, and Bullish is actually helping me on this. I'm working on my crypto curricula website, which is going to be essentially like an encyclopedia on finance with the origins of money, the origins of banking systems, the origin of crypto, the reason that crypto is valid and matters. And this is something where by being in the club, any time that I would ever consider monetizing any content that I make, which I've never done, I don't charge anybody for anything, I would immediately give free access to anybody that's in the club, because whatever I can do to provide information or value in any form without having to really like rake myself over the coals, I'm all for it. So get all of the paid content for free just by participating in this community driven effort. And it's something where it will, one, it's allowing us to reach artists that they don't really know how to get their work onto the blockchain, but we do. We have the experience to do it. So we're going to get them involved. And I have like a tattoo artist in New Zealand who's a super talented artist. And she has these wonderful original works, but she can't sell them anywhere because there's not a ton of money floating around New Zealand and there's a million people competing in the art landscape out there. So getting her into Web3 gives her a global audience as opposed to the audience of the island. And when you think about developers that have produced things like the HSI, Hedron stakes and stuff like that, there is a real discrepancy between the amount of work and labor and experience required to produce something like that and the economic reward that that person receives. And so with this collection, we're able to help people maybe self-finance by getting in free. Everyone has plenty of lead time to know that the mints are coming. Get one for the cheapest gas fee that you can secure for yourself. And then personally, no expectation of profit from the work of others. But if I found this to be a fun community to be a part of, I might try to mint as many damn Club Cats NFTs as possible to make it even harder for you guys to get in, just so that I could list a bunch of them for sale. And maybe I would even be willing to do an NFT giveaway on a floor priced NFT that has 10 ETH as its demand. So there's a lot of ways for us to win together, and it's not trading, it's not token trading. So someone doesn't have to lose for you to win. It just has to come from us moving as one and providing value through our social network and with any partnerships that we may or may not form that gives people a real reason that they would want to support this with cash money. So
would the artist be getting the full 7.5%? Or is
that would be split between the management, so like people like me and Steak and Apes and the artist. And then for myself, I'm not like, so I've been thinking about that because I want Steak and Apes to be rewarded, and he works on a business model like that right now with his current NFT artist, and it's highly successful. It's super easy for them to have that agreement, but nobody bucks any seats. It's fair to both parties. And so I'm thinking of ways that, hey, without giving away or showing my hand, if I am getting a cut from resale NFTs, that might be a way that I could encourage other artists to produce and expand the ecosystem. Maybe we add into the VR club. Maybe we have Hex and Pulse Chain and PulseX marketing on something like Sandbox. Who knows? Possibilities are endless. So there's a lot of cool ways to redeploy capital, but this is not harvesting Hexakin funds, because the NFT community is, one, it's much larger than the Hexakin community, and two, it's typically a divide. We don't have a ton of crossover. We have plenty, but we don't have a ton. And some of that is the messaging from the big man, and that's okay. That's his opinion. But when we, so Luisito, let me explain, like 7.5% royalties are a lot. 5% seems more non-profitable objective. Wrong. You're getting the NFT for free. So if you sell it for $10,000, how are you bitching about 7.5%? You didn't do anything, man. You just bought an NFT for free. So like that doesn't add up. What Goblintown.wtf is the #1 trending, highest profitable project right now, and they're doing 7.5%. And it's because they gave away a free mint. You can't lose if you get something for free, and your only alternative is to sell it for more than 0. So that logic doesn't hold up, bro. You just got to get more familiar with the space. And the artists do deserve to be rewarded. If you want to play the game for I buy NFTs and I make money on NFTs, and you're not making the NFTs, something's missing. There's a missing fundamental appreciation for the work that people are doing for you to achieve that goal. So this is really an opportunity, like HexyB said, to save the artist. But really, it also expands their ability to go on and do other projects. They don't have to be some, in the hall, like drawing up cats all day. Like this can give them an audience where people go, wow, I really appreciate the work that you do. I see you have your own projects, and then they can create a following there. So it's really all about being able to bring people together and move as a community in ways that don't require any startup funds. They don't require any strategy. You can just sit on the sidelines and enjoy the work that everybody else does and the education that's being shared, whether or not you retain it. So 0 risk and potential reward. I don't know what it'll be, if it'll even work, but it's worked for other projects, and we know the game theory behind what has made them successful. Between the most successful projects that are out there, and cats are an instant winner on the internet. They're just a ton of fun, you guys. There's a cat meme for literally everything that you could type in. So feel free to follow. That's my alt handle, ClubCat CEO.
So I remember when you tweeted this out a month ago, 2 months ago, or whatever. I was like, "Who would this be?" Interesting. This is fascinating. Like I have been toying around different ideas with NFTs to implement that with my business, and I was like, there's lots of different creative ways of implementing them. So I appreciate you sharing this. It's fascinating. How often do you kind of think, right? Because if somebody's an artist and they're like, yeah, I will do, these pieces, and then I'm going to have this, like, because it's their time investment with the, like an option kind of thing. They're getting an option on the future potentially, right? Call option of some sort. So if this is successful, right, and this artist is friends with other artists, right, and they're like, hey, I did this shit for free, and now I'm making $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month or whatever it is from the 7.5%, depending on how much volume there is. Now, if that's the case, you could see a world where a lot more artists want to get involved, right?
100%.
So there could be a time where minting is daily or something, like on a monthly basis, right? You know what I mean? Where new shit is coming out like on a regular basis, like consistently.
And see, that's the real ethos, man, is like, I want anyone that, especially like if you're watching the video and if you're an NFT artist or a digital artist, hit me up, man. Like if you're willing to put in the work with understanding that you're not going to get rich on the mint, and that it will require people to value the art and value the intrinsic value that I will participate in bringing. I'm going to be writing a personal biography of every single cat that has ever minted on ClubCat. So there's just like fun character development behind the story of the art, just any excuse that we can find to bring people in. But I want as many artists as possible to get involved, because it's for the artist and it's for the community with respect to the content that we'll provide. So the reason that ClubCat is so infinitely potentially successful is club can be anything. There's book clubs, chess clubs, yacht clubs, golf clubs, gentlemen's clubs, strip clubs, whatever you want, man. I can take the people out of it and put a cat in it. And I've got the artists that can perform that. And so it's just fun. And we're not trying to flood the market with 1 million NFTs, because that's real work that artists have to do. We're trying to provide real quality JPEGs. I know that sounds ironic, but understand that there's like real effort that goes into making even what appears to be simple digital art. And one of the examples I give so that people can understand how valuable provenance is, the reason that it is the only value proposition behind art, is with Bored Ape Yacht Club. There's an individual who films Kanye West music videos. His name is Ryder Rips. And I'm a huge fan of Ryder Rips. His work is awesome. I follow him on Twitter, and I go into his spaces and talk NFTs and art and things like that. Well, there are artists, like we use Basquiat again as an example, who, when they have like a really close friend, one way that they can help their friend out is by drawing like a little stick figure and then signing it Basquiat. And because it's from the artist that makes something like the skull and makes all of these other great works, that little stick figure representation of their friend with the signature of the artist is invaluable. And it is now worth millions of dollars because people will pay whatever they can to get Basquiat's signature, to have his actual handwritten signature. And the art doesn't matter. No one cares that it's just a stupid stick figure. It really doesn't matter. So if you embrace the idea that there's something more valuable than just the JPEG, and it's people putting their energy into creating it, communities putting their energy into whatever it is. In this case, I'm a big fan of education, so I want to be able to answer everybody's Web3 questions in an environment where I know they're not being taken advantage of, because I know I can provide information or find the right person that can provide the information that they might be asking about without them having to run off into the rabbit holes of the internet and potentially fall prey to somebody who's looking to be an adversarial, exploitive personality on the internet. So for me, it just brings a lot of peace of mind that I can keep doing the things I'm already doing every day on Twitter. But now there's a little carrot on a stick where people understand that if you're willing to commit to the movement of the community and to embrace the game theory that I will give away for free and show examples of where it has been implemented successfully, so you know this isn't just a random experiment, there's a real reward to be had, potentially. I can't see the future.
Yeah. So I think it's awesome. I have a mind that looks at things from a utility standpoint, like a lot of people do, but I don't think that's actually the majority of people. Like, I think that I'm actually in the minority, because I think
the Fortnite people are the majority.
Yes. So for me, it's a little bit more challenging to grasp some of these things,
Sure.
to understand the utility of them in my mind, right? And that, like, I think it's dope. I think this morning, right, I did a deep dive on whatever it's called, tag coin, right? Monetizing or turning hashtags into NFTs, right? There's a YouTube video if you guys want to check it out. You check the link. Bullish will drop it down below. But tag protocol and turning them into NFTs and trying to provide the utility behind that, and being that's the framework that I carry around. It's help me with that, like, disconnect, because it's trying to bring those two things together. Other than the biggest thing, the sale, like, in my mind, for me, is okay, joining the country club so that I can be around people like you or GRC and talk to more people like you guys, because I get value out of that. Where this other thing, it's like, okay, well, the education, I can do that myself, or the other pieces, I can just do all this stuff myself, or there's bazillion fucking resources out there for all that kind of stuff. So
for sure,
I'd love you to talk about that for a second.
For sure. So some simple utilities that we can integrate would be, given that we have a plethora of talented Web3 artists, and even like in Bullsh's case, Web2, Web3 creative on the development side, we could provide real opportunity for artists that are totally Web3 illiterate to work side by side with existing Web3 artists, understand the programs that they use, what you need to do in order to create like generative art. There are a lot of learning curve steps that exist within, I just saw you access a lot. I love that, man. Hit me up. There's a lot of ways that we can take things, other entrepreneurs that maybe are marketing experts. And if you want to maybe seek an internship, or you want to potentially apply for a job, these are the kind of people that have growing networks who would be willing to entertain those opportunities because you're in their community, right? It's a lot easier to ask for help if you already have a bunch of people around you that are serving the best interest of the community that you belong to. So that, on top of whatever physical real world partnerships that we can form.
Will that stuff, will some of those be, Gary Vee has a super interesting NFT launch that he did, very, very successful, giant community he has, awesome. And he's got some super cool utility things with his some of his collection, right? Like this one gives you, maybe a free gift every month. This one gives you access to his event. This one allows you to be on his podcast. This one allows you to do this type of thing. So like that kind of thing. Each,
of course,
NFT has, this one associated with how an artist can develop Web3 art type of thing. And this one might be the, quote internship or like a monthly call with somebody who is, doing something. Okay, that's super interesting.
And see, that's the beauty of it, is that there's no limit to the potential. We're going to avoid anything that would put us into the securities issues because it's just an unnecessary hurdle. There's plenty of opportunities you can offer that don't ever cross that bridge. But the reason that I'm doing this as a grassroots movement is because, Sam, you have a ton of great ideas. Feel free to come and pitch those ideas, and we'll form a rough, straw poll consensus of like, hey, do we think this is a good idea? Then let's implement it. We are in control. Unlike the free market, where there's so much diversity in the ecosystem with their own individual incentives, and you don't really have a say in, hey, everyone wants Hex to go to the moon. Okay, so why isn't it at $1 yet? There's real market forces in play that would require people to be strategic with the allocation of funds in their investments. And with an NFT, you're only going to participate voluntarily, and then you're not beholden to a liquidity pool or a market order book. Each individual NFT is its own order book, its own liquidity. And so by helping people understand that they have full free reign on how we drive this project forward, we just strengthen the bonds within the community, we deepen the roots. And that is one of the qualities that will help us establish strong price floors, so that if other individuals from outside of our community say, well, I kind of want in on the community, and maybe you're sitting on 3 Club Cats NFTs because you saw the future value in building a strong community in Web3 with verifiable education, free of charge for the original investors or the original participants, then you might be willing to just right-click save the NFT image that you like, but sell that NFT to somebody that wants to join the community. And there's really no limit to the number of ways that we can provide like fun, banter, art. There's all sorts of ways that we can occupy our time that aren't staring at price charts, that aren't doing TA, things that I love. Don't get me wrong, I love that stuff. But I get messages all the time, man, from people who are really emotionally torn up going through this bear market right now. And their 401k is not looking good. I got a dude who's getting ready to get married tomorrow, and he's in deep with Hex, but he was a later adopter. He found me through Twitter, and he's like, man, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, I've never seen volatility like this. And I told him, well, it sounds like you look at the price chart every day, man. He goes, well, yeah, I'm trying to keep up on my investments. Well, simple solution is don't. But unfortunately, if you don't have anything else to spend your attention on, you're probably going to fall back in that habit. So this is just a fun excuse for people to take their eyes off of that shiny object for a little while, and maybe even level up a little bit with regard to their security posture, their understanding of evaluating projects, their ability to understand regulation, the news, how it's impacting the adoption of crypto, and things of that nature that are valuable things for people to understand.
This is interesting, as you were talking about the club, right? And you can have a club for anything, really. I was like, well, there could be a club for finances, right? And financial literacy. And I know that's going to be a giant portion of the education of what you're doing, based upon it is Web3. So that just is like the underlying piece of a lot of Web3 is money, right? Like, so obviously a big piece of it. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there, because think of how many different community club, whatever you want to call them, there is in legacy to talk about all things legacy related, finance, legacy related, making money, tax strategies, all of the stuff in that realm. And I think that having a community around the club of making money, or finances might be a better way, or financial literacy might be a more accurate description. I think it's fascinating. I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see this launch, and if there's some way I can help you in, let me know. I'm happy to help go, even if it's just brainstorming ideas on like utility piece of it or whatever. I think that stuff is awesome.
I would love that, man. And so all of the people that have been in, we've only done about 2 spaces, but everyone that's been in there has been super generous with their ideas, and the table's open for anything. There's a crypto fitness challenge going on that you guys might have heard of. It's kind of like a fitness club. It's like a social fitness club. And who knows, maybe there's a bunch of yoked cats that need to be minted so that people can get private mentorship on, hey, these are the different peptides that are effective for this and that. These are the different exercises to help you repair your fucked up knee. And so there's a lot of knowledge out there, and you don't have to worry about, I'm the guy charging $19.99 for the course. No, the course is free because people are getting the NFT to come and participate in the community. And you stand to benefit because you're holding an NFT that now can have a higher price floor, and maybe it sells one day.
So very interesting. I think one of the things on a slight tangent, but to tie it into this is that partnerships is like sometimes depending on where somebody is in their mental like journey of life, right? Not that anybody's better or whatever, but just they're different spots. There's a time in life where partnering is a risk, right? Is a risk
For sure.
It slows down things. And like I gotta let go of shit. It's that, right?
Definitely.
But partnering is a way to actually grow faster, substantially faster in a lot of cases. And if you're listening to this, we do have a crypto fitness challenge going on, and we've also been talking about releasing an NFT potentially with different things.
It's I can talk about this. So everybody in the community knows Garo. So Garo is actually creating the NFTs. It's going to be 3 unique NFTs, your 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day. It's in production right now, so you guys will see that soon. We're doing a play on, I guess I'll give them this hint so they can, what to expect. If you Google AA coin, we're doing a play on that. So, just
Very
wait for
cool.
that. That'll be coming very soon.
And to take the that idea and use it as an opportunity to bring value in both directions, then the whole thing is able to, this literally coming to my mind as you're speaking. I haven't talked to, Bullish or GRC, but we do plan on running a second or maybe plenty of iterative challenges in the future where, and maybe anybody who signs up, maybe it's a free NFT and that has some type of other utility attached to that. And if there's a way to collaborate on something where it is, beneficial to everybody involved, I think that might be super interesting, fun project.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what you think.
Yeah. No, I think it's safe to say we've spoken about it. We're planning on running it back, after the 90 days. So once this fitness challenge is done, we'll regroup, build it, better than what it was, figure out, what we can do better from the last one and launch a second fitness challenge.
Yes, and if we can tie it in with Web3, we definitely want to tie it into Web3 because it's something
we're learning, guys. We're learning.
Passionate about.
We're
Yes.
learning.
Well, look, man, I can speak for the project. It's no sweat off my back, and the artists have been tremendously generous with their creations. Let's get we'll call it like Jacked Cat, and it'll just be like a cool flexing cat or something like that, and give it away as a free reward within the next Crypto Fitness Challenge, so that person automatically has the opportunity to come and participate in the community, or they can just sit on the sidelines. And as the rest of our community works together to provide high price floors and adopt new people into the demand for our services that we offer, then that person might actually stand to reap an economic reward, even if they don't choose to hold on to that NFT. So happy to find ways that we can collaborate like that.
Because there's so many different overlays.
There's so many. Exactly. It's multifactorial. You know what I mean? Like there's just a lot going into it, guys.
Chad Cat.
Chad Cat, nice.
This has been an absolutely amazing episode. I am so happy. I need to get a nap in one of these minutes. But guys, this has absolutely been incredible. I've learned so much. My brain is going to be spinning about this concept throughout the whole bear market, because until my assets go up, I'm going to be thinking about something. Believe it. No, but I'm just going to be learning, guys, Web3, learning. There's a lot to learn, guys. Crypto in the morning. If you're not following Sam,
check out Twitter.
Check on Twitter, check
YouTube.
on IG, check on TikTok, check on every platform. Sam Stolt, he's on there. He's doing a video later. We'll drop the link. We got Crypto Curricula here for all the Hexicans. That's ORCA. He's got the Club Cats CEO tag on Twitter. And we're going to the moon with the kitties. You got any closing words, ORCA?
Yeah, so Joe Dirt with the super chat, he came into the Twitter space last night. He made that profile picture for himself. It just goes to show you, dude, like we're just having fun out there. None of this is a cash grab. I don't really, like for me, the money isn't the motive, but I do respect a lot of people that have been undervalued in the market. And so we're going to bridge the gap between the learning curve of Web3, the opportunity to make gains even in a bear market, and to show the world that people that come together under a common cause are powerful, and that we ultimately do have a say in our own fate. And that's really the ethos that makes Club Cats just this awesome opportunity to get involved in.
There's and I apologize on this portion, other than wrapping things up. There's a tremendous amount of amazing, smart, talented, hardworking personal trainers and coaches who don't know how to do the business side or don't know how to market or don't know how to like build a community, that this could be applied to as well, because there's so many of those people who are super talented. They take care of their shit. They've built amazing habits. They love helping people and providing the value to whoever they're working with that are not served right out there as well. Absolutely. So this is another interesting way to apply this. If you guys enjoy the show, make sure you press that like button. Make sure you press the subscribe button. Press the bell notification so you get notified next time we come out. Go follow ORCA over on Twitter. I think we're gonna drop that into the chat before we wrap up, so everybody has a chance to jump over there and press the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Tonight at 6:30 p.m. EST. Tonight 6:30 p.m. EST on my other channel. I'll be going live talking fitness related stuff. We have a TRT expert on there. We also have a personal trainer who's coming on tonight, a pro personal trainer. He's coming on. We're going to be talking more of like the drug type stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, peptides, SARMs, bodybuilding, health related stuff, blood work,
facts,
jump over
detail.
there. All that kind of fun stuff. 6:30 p.m. EST. You want to do the outro, bro? You want to do the outro?
Let's pop the outro, guys. Biceps in the chat. What a great episode. Biceps. Biceps in the chat for ORCA. Crypto Curricula, guys. We're at you every day, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to have some crazy shows in this bear market, guys. We're going to get really creative, and it's going to be really, really fun. You know me. I don't care about any social norms. I don't give a shit about all that. I like to have fun, and I like to know what's going on, and I like to get involved. And that's why we're doing the daily show, because we're learning, baby. Biceps in the chat, guys. Let's run this, baby.
Yes.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking no blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stay. Got me some hedron, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Gym ready, set me to show you the way.